Ange Postecoglou has officially been sacked right after his embarrassing 3-0 loss to Chelsea with the man sent off. On today's video, I'm going to talk about Ange's sacking, what form he was in that led to his sacking, what factors that led to his sacking, and also where do both these parties go from here. Now before I start, could you like, comment, share, subscribe, and thank you for doing so. And let's start off with the form. And with form, his first match was against Arsenal. He lost 3-0, which is understandable. And then in total, he played 8 matches. He lost 6 of them, drew 2 of them. This is in all competitions. He conceded 18 goals and he only scored 7 of them. And he drew 2 games. So first off, he lost to Arsenal, understandable. Then he lost in the Carabao Cup to Swansea, which is really bad because it's in the Championship. Next up, he then he drew to Real Betis in the Conference League. He also drew to Burnley, newly promoted. He lost to newly promoted Sunderland, but to be fair, Sunderland are doing pretty good right now. And he then also, embarrassing, this is like the worst result he had, was a loss against AC Midtjylland. He lost 3-2 there, and the Forest fans were calling for the sack if they hadn't already. And what confirmed his fate, or sealed his fate, was the 3-0 loss to Chelsea today. And he was sacked, and he didn't even do any interview. He just left after the match, and Mr. Marinakis said, "You're sacked," and he just left. He got in his car and he left. And let's start off with first, why didn't it work out? The main reason is style of play. And when I was young, I didn't really understand style of play, why it mattered so much, but it matters so much. Because if you put, I don't know, let's say for example, Pep Guardiola and give him the Burnley job, he would do bad. He'd probably get relegated. And this is kind of what Nottingham Forest have done. They've got a manager who is so renowned for attacking, getting him signed for such a defensive team. That was their big mistake. It was like the biggest mismatch possible. Ange Postecoglou is a very attacking manager, or at least a very high pressing manager, and that's something Nottingham Forest didn't do as much under the old manager Nuno Espirito Santo. And currently right now they are feeling the wrath of it. They are 18th in the league, and ironically Nuno is looking to leapfrog Nottingham Forest at West Ham. He's 19th place, but Nottingham Forest are in 18th place after the Carabao Cup, and the Europa League isn't looking too good. And he has been sacked, and I think that's the main reason, style of play. Ange was really trying to force his style of play and say he would win a trophy at the end of 2 years, and I guess it didn't work out. Mr. Marinakis, he ran out of patience. Now, who's to blame? I say definitely Nottingham Forest, the board, and Mr. Marinakis, but also a bit of blame is for Ange. He really should have adapted. I know he wanted to force through his thing, but even let's say for example Enzo Maresca, he went on to win the Club World Cup in his first season. Now what he did was he slowly adapted the Chelsea team. Chelsea team on the pitch were a bit more direct. He kept it, he made it a little less direct, but he kept it kind of direct, and eventually he went into the more possession play that you see Chelsea play today. And this is what Andrew really needed to do. He needed to start a bit defensive and then go more attacking. That's essentially what needed to happen. But I guess it didn't happen, and in the end he got sacked. But you do have to blame the board because it's such a bad appointment. I mean, the manager that they're looking to sign now is a good chance it's going to be Sean Dyche. And no offense to Sean Dyche, but he's used to managing teams who are in relegation battles. And yes, Nottingham Forest are in right now, but they were in the Europa League and they were literally 7th place with Nuno, and they really downgraded for managers. I'm not saying Ange is a downgrade to Nuno, or really Dyche is a downgrade to Nuno, but there is a bit of a gap in quality there, and at least in what they've managed before. And I definitely think this is a big loss for Nottingham Forest, and the only hope is really to do great in the Conference League if they can salvage anything from this season. But let's go on to what's going to happen in the future. What do these two parties do? Well, I feel like, let's start with Ange. I feel Ange should go back to Celtic. Not that he's not, his style of play doesn't work in England. I feel like it can work, but you just need the right players. I feel he should go to Celtic, and because Celtic need a manager, they're not doing too good, and get back to where he knows he's good at. He can go and win a league there, get a bit of confidence up for himself, and eventually go back to England again. I feel like he should go to Celtic, in my opinion. Now, Nottingham Forest, they're in a big pickle. I'm not talking about small pickle, big pickle. And the reason is that Nottingham Forest and Mr. Marinakis have really shot themselves in the foot. This is because the way they treated Nuno, and no big manager, no manager with a type of, with a top quality manager, a one who has a lot of aura, a one who has a lot of history with winning stuff, is going to go to Forest now. They've seen how they treated Nuno. Then they went and got Ange, which was still a surprise. And he actually has some respect on him as well. But he still went to Forest, and then he failed there. And they didn't show Ange too much respect, the Nottingham Forest board or the fans. And really, the next manager that goes it's definitely going to be a dip in quality from the likes of Ange and the likes of Nuno Espirito Santo. And that's why they've really shot themselves in the foot. What respected manager would go and want to say, look, I want to go and manage Forest because it's a great club and ever, and it is, but who wants to work for Mr. Marinakis? That's what they're going to think, in my opinion. And who are they going to sign? Who's going to be the next manager? I feel like it should be, Sean Dyche. He should definitely be near top of the list. He's a defensive manager. You go for a defensive manager. If Mourinho still out of a job, you would go get Mourinho, but Mourinho wouldn't want to go to Forest. It's a really hard one. The only managers who would want to go is for managers who are looking to have a step up. A championship manager might want to go up, and no one who's managed mid-table teams before would go and go for Forest. The only thing they've got going for them appeal-wise, their pull is the Europa League, and that's it. What do you guys think? Do you think he deserves to be sacked? I definitely think so. And what do you think of his time at Forest and Nottingham Forest, Ange Postecoglou? And was he the worst Forest manager of all time? Just remember, he got a 0% success rate. But anyways, I do hope Ange gets back to his best. And Nottingham Forest, well, I hope he survives relegation. Thank you for watching, guys. Could you like, comment, share, subscribe? And thank you for watching.